Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon for some. Blitzball Champ is back here, bringing forth a brand new video. So, want to do some more Carolina Panthers talk. I know it's been a little while since the last Panthers talk video that I've done, but a lot's been kind of going on as we are now 2 Sundays away from opening day to the season, the kickoff of this 2020 NFL season. And just wanted to discuss a couple of things, that have been kind of on my mind. Um, so, first off, just the idea that, we're not going to be getting any preseason games. Um, we're just going to be thrown right into the fire 2 Sundays from now. So, it's really going to be interesting just to really see what we will look like opening day. There's no confirmed depth chart, or excuse me, no confirmed starting lineup. No depth chart has been released. No official depth chart has been released. So that plus the fact that there have been a lot of new players that have been picked up. Also, a handful of injuries suffered. And just, it seems like with a lot of the training camps and the scrimmages, it's been kind of, back and forth between the offense and defense. Offense has its good days, defense will have the better days. So it's been really interesting. I'm very anxious to see, how this team will really look when come time to trim down to the 53-man roster. But couple of notable injuries I wanted to bring forth. So of course we know one of the obvious ones. No Michael Pilardi out for the season. Um, we have a few receivers injured. Omar Bayless got put on injury reserve. Seth Roberts is in concussion protocol. Um, and I believe Keith Kirkwood has a broken clavicle. So hurting a little bit on the wide receivers, but we just recently picked up Cam Phillips, who played on the same XFL team as PJ Walker, and I believe was their leading receiver. So thought that was an interesting pickup. Have to see if he ends up getting some action, but I expect to see with the wide receivers that we have. Let me bring up the wide receivers that we have just to be sure. With the wide receivers we have, of course, the obvious three that we'll be seeing a lot of course, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel. I expect to see Pharaoh Cooper in the special teams for sure. Um, Maybe possibly Brandon Zylstra as well, who does have some experience in the special teams department. But hopefully Seth Roberts can get cleared before opening day. And then of course we picked up Tommy Lee Lewis, who played with the Saints. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what other receivers sort of stand out, and that will really help the offense as well as special teams. Because I know DJ Moore has some special teams experience, but I really feel like with where he's at, he should really stick to the offense and the starting lineup, and leave special teams for the other guys. But it'll be interesting to see how our wide receiving core will look come opening day. So keep an eye on that. Also, something very interesting is the battle at kicker, kicker slash punter. It has been said that Joey Sly has been inconsistent in practice lately. That's not good. It's not really good. And I know we brought in Joseph Charlton for punting duties. And then we also brought in, I'm gonna try my best to pronounce his name, but please forgive me if I mess it up. Uh, Kare Vedvik. I don't even know if I said that correctly. Who used to be the kicker slash punter for the Vikings, was brought in as competition because of course we all know that we let go of Graham Gano, which was unfortunate. One of our best kickers, but it'll definitely be interesting to see how he fares, considering Joey Sly has been struggling some in practice. So I don't know. This might see a season where we may, keep a kicker, punter, and this guy. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But it's kind of a bummer because I really had high hopes for Joey Sly. I was really happy that he had made the team last year. But if it's true that he's struggling in camp currently, that's really gonna hurt. That's really gonna hurt. But but yeah, we'll have to see how that develops in these next 2 weeks to see if maybe he can bounce back, or are we gonna see a change at that position. Um, Also, the other outside linebacker position, I feel like is still a big, gigantic question mark. Now we know we got Shaq Thompson on the opposite side. We got Tahir Whitehead in the middle, and supposedly either Jermaine Carter or I believe it's Andre Smith. Yeah, out of North Carolina, that might get that spot. But supposedly, what I've learned is apparently Jeremy Chin has some experience at outside linebacker as well as safety and cornerback. So I don't know if that's gonna perhaps factor into maybe him being rotated in and out at that particular position, or maybe Brian Burns. But Brian Burns is known mainly for his edge rushing, so that spot is really, I really feel like, is going to be important. I mean, before it wasn't really an issue because we had Keekly in the middle and then Shaq and Davis on the outsides. And, that was a sweet, great linebacker core. But now with Keekly and Davis out, no longer part of the team, you know, it's gonna really leave a lot of thoughts as to how this linebacking core is really gonna work, considering Shaq is really the main one with the experience there as a starter, and then you bring in Tahir Whitehead from the Raiders, and that other outside linebacking spot, especially if we're returning back to the 4-3 defense. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. I mean, we got a lot of. I mean, we got a couple of people. I mean, Jermaine Carter, Andre Smith. I was thinking maybe, perhaps Julian Stanford, considering he has 7 years experience. That might be a possibility as well. Maybe putting him at that other outside linebacker position. Maybe just due to experience. Or Adrius Taylor, he has 6 years experience. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks at that other outside linebacker position. So, let me know, who do you feel will be at that outside linebacker position alongside Tahir Whitehead and Shaq Thompson. Who do y'all feel would be the best fit as the starter to take that role in that 4-3 defense? Um, Also, thinking about the offensive line, I haven't really heard the name Michael Schofield said much since he was signed. So I don't know what's the deal with him. I feel like he was brought in because of his experience and productivity, especially making it through a whole entire season with the Chargers. So um, it also kind of makes me feel about the potential starting lineup for the offensive line, which thinking about a couple of notable injuries. Russell Okung, he's questionable. He's had some, I believe it's back issues, which I feel like if some way somehow he can't go, we do have Greg Little, who is supposed to be good and healthy and good to go now. I know he had some concussion issues last season and really didn't get a chance to go. So we do have Greg Little. I felt like when he did play, he did pretty well. But hopefully Russell Okung will be good to go. That's pretty much the big key piece that we acquired um, through the trade, giving up Trey Turner for him. So I really hope that he'll be good to go. But it does make me wonder about how the starting lineup is going to look for the offensive line. I mean, we know Dennis Daly, has a little bit of experience. Um, we know Taylor Moton pretty much is a lock in for starting lineup. Matt Paradis, um, John Miller. I mean, I feel like maybe it's going to come down between John Miller and Michael Schofield. So it'll really be interesting, like who will be the better fit at starter, who will be more productive. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting look at offensive line. So we'll have to see what they end up going with, and then at least with Tyler Larson, who currently has a calf strain, but Larson is kind of the catalyst, considering he can play multiple positions, whether it's guard, tackle, or even at center. He has some experience as a starter at center when Ryan Khalil went down. So, I mean, that's good to have. And Tyler Larson didn't do too bad. But yeah, this offensive line, it'll be interesting to see what day one, what week one looks like, and how this starting line will appear on the depth chart. Um, Another notable thing: a lot of rookies starting on defense. So it seems apparent that we're going to be getting quite a handful of rookies starting on defense. I mean, from Derek Brown to Jeremy Chin to Troy Pride Jr., um, to potentially YGM. If he doesn't come in as rotational, potentially YGM. Um, and of course, we still got what's his face, uh, Kenny Robinson, which I don't think he was one of the announced particular starters. Who's the other cornerback slash safety? I cannot think of his name. Uh, oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. Stanley Thomas Oliver III. I'm sorry. That's who I was thinking of. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys do. But it seems that there's been some good things said from camp about some of these guys, and considering that the Panthers organization went all defense in the draft, there's a lot of high hopes that these rookies will fare really well. And I feel like the two big standouts that I'm predicting, the two big standouts will be Derek Brown and Jeremy Chin. With probably YGM being a strong third contender, but those first two I really feel like will shine brightly on defense. And but yeah, this is going to be a very young looking defense come week 1. That can be a good thing, that can also be a bad thing. But I really expect, players like Shaq Thompson, K'Wan Short, Trey Boston, even Dante Jackson to really, really play that leadership role of their positions really, really well. I think that's going to be key. Very, very key. Um, I feel like the team has a chance to really have a destructive D line. When you have veterans and rookies, you got a lot of youth, you got a lot of speed. Brian Burns, YGM, you know, on the edge, you have an opportunity to really cause some damage. And, alongside, the veterans, Zach Kerr, up and coming Effie Obata, Stephen Weverly. I mean, you could, get quite a combo there on the outside. And then with the interiors, with folks like, K'Wan Short and Derek Brown leading that up. You got a rotational Woodrow Hamilton who has the experience on the team, and new rookie Bravion Roy. I really feel like this D line has a great opportunity to really disrupt any offense if they can be consistent. If they can really be consistent in stopping the run and then getting a good bulldozing pass rush. I really feel like, other offenses really need to keep an eye on the Panthers D line. I think they could really be destructive. And another thing I kind of wanted to mention, so the team also released, they waived Jordan Scarlett. Was really kind of disappointed. I really, really was hoping that he would get a fair shot because I feel like, despite the preseason game where he, fumbled a few times, he did bounce back and ended up finishing, pretty strong. But I really wanted him to get more of a chance this year, but looks like that's not going to happen. But I'm really hoping to see a lot of Reggie Bonifant because I saw in the report last season Christian McCaffrey had 403 touches. He led the league with 403 touches. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was successful with that, hitting the 1,000 club, but it's not needed though. It shouldn't be the main point of the offense. It should be spread. So I'm really, really hoping whether it's Reggie Bonifant or maybe Mike Davis, who has more experience, or Trenton Cannon. I like Bonifant, me personally. I don't know that much about Cannon or Davis. I like Reggie Bonifant. He showed some flashes last season, so I really hope he gets more of a shot this year. I know he'll probably get used in the special teams, but I really feel like he'll do better. Just getting an opportunity to share the load with C-Mac. But we'll see. Next, the backup QB battle between Will Grier and PJ Walker. From what I've been hearing, it's looking like PJ Walker has the slight edge, but I don't know. With Will Greer having the experience as a backup, even though it didn't go too well for him last season, um, it'll be really interesting to see what they decide at the backup position. Because PJ Walker had great success in the XFL, especially being on the team that was undefeated. And with him being from Temple, there's some experience there with the coaching staff. Uh, yeah, something tells me PJ Walker is probably going to win that battle, but you never know. I mean, you still got 2 weeks. Not sure when they'll make a decision on that, but from what it sounds like PJ Walker has the slight edge over Will Greer. So, and from what I've heard, it seems like people, like PJ Walker, Will Greer not so much. So, we'll we'll have to see. We'll have to see. They're both similar in build. I mean, Will Greer is a little bit taller than PJ Walker, but I mean, they're both similar build. So, we'll just have to see what happens. We'll have to really, really see what happens. But I'd say looking at the first 3 games of the season, which are the Raiders at home and the Bucks and Chargers on the road. I think these are, you know, really, really good starting 3 games to really test the team. I think these are good games to really test what this team looks like and where they will, supposedly be by the end of the season. But there's been a lot of good things said about Teddy Bridgewater, from the coaching staff and other players. Looks like he's taken that role of being a leader very seriously. And even though there's a lot of fans that talk really bad about Bridgewater, I really feel like I'm confident he's going to surprise a lot of people. I really do. I think he's going to really surprise a lot of people, and I believe he'll do well. Whether he'll be here for the long run or not remains to be seen, but I think some folks are really going to be surprised at his production. And the main thing is don't have any expectations on him being anywhere close to how Cam or any other quarterback is. Let Bridgewater be Bridgewater. Let him be him. Because if folks are thinking that he's going to get a whole bunch of rushing yards on the ground and such, no. No, that's not him. So, we just got to let him play his game. Let him work in this system, which apparently, according to Coach Matt Rule, is supposed to be fast paced. So, can't really think of exactly how that looks, but it sounds exciting. It sounds very exciting. And I know there's mixed opinions about Matt Rule, coming from college, getting his first start as a head coach, you know, and I understand nobody wants another Chip Kelly situation, but we'll just have to see what happens. Overall, though, I do like the young talent that's on the team. Um, I think I think they'll do well in the long run. I think we'll see some surprises really rise up and do well. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for now. Um, I'll probably do another video as it gets closer to the season start to really see where they're at once the 53-man roster is decided. And then, really kind of go through the depth chart again and really see who's more, locked into those positions. But Carolina's been waiving folks and been signing a lot of folks. I know they've been dealing with some injuries, but they've been signing for depth. A lot of folks are like, who's this person? Who's that person? It's all for depth. It's all for depth, and I have no problem with that because at the end of the day, we want to have a surefire, strong roster as we can. And sometimes that may include less notable people. It happens. It happens. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I can't wait. Um, Hope everybody can stay healthy and, just with everything that's going on. And I hope it works out. I really hope it works out. I'm anxious, but I'm excited. I'm very excited. So, let me know y'all's thoughts and comments. Any particular events going on in Carolina Panthers news that stand out to you? How do you think the roster looks? What do y'all expect? What do y'all hope to see? Um, who do y'all think will shine? But yeah, let me know. And thank y'all for watching. I hope everybody has a blessed day, and I will see y'all soon. Take care.